when we think of these two terms, psychology and leadership, what is the relevance between these two? And if there is any, can you please share that with us?
A very good question. I totally love the whole idea of integrating leadership with the concept of psychology. So, if I go on to say that leadership is an offshoot of psychology, that won't be an exaggeration at all, Prashant. And why
Okay.
do I say that? Because so let me put leadership in a perspective, especially with respect to psychology here. So, why do I say that? So,
Mhm.
first and the most important thing is leadership for a psychologist is more about taking charge of what you are doing, what you are thinking, and while you are, and what you are talking. So, what you are thinking and what you are talking interact very beautifully and reflect into what you are doing, right? So, it's all about taking charge of your neurology plus taking charge of your linguistics so that you lead to a very, very cognitive and perceptible change in your actions and behaviors. That's where it is coming from. If I have to give you or build up my case of calling leadership as an offshoot of psychology, my second point would be I feel leadership is also a very strong narrative, right? So what happens is a part of a narrative. There's no real thing happening in the world. Whatever you see and you make a story out of that, and then you behave accordingly. That's narrative. And if you look at the biological narrative which has been fed into each one of us here, it talks of how we are all um, a result of our genetics. Now look at that. It leaves us so choiceless. It leaves us as if, okay, so I'm preordained to be like this, and this is how it is supposed to be. If that is true, there are enough researches now which have proven that interacting with the environment, our genes undergo a change, which means suddenly we have a choice, which means I can create a narrative which is not that limiting but expansive enough. Expansive where I can choose to be what I want to be, not because of my genes, but because of my active choice. And that's what leadership is all about, having a choice, creating possibilities for yourself. If you look at the other dimension, it's also about shift, how you can shift from being a victim all the time. So this was genetic, whatever narration has been given to us or handed down to us over the years, that was also on a similar line. I am a victim, I am limited by my genetics. But no, nurture plays a very important role, and that is why shifting from a victim over to somebody who can be a creator is another profound beauty of being a leader, and that too in psychological perspective. And last but not the least is going to be the most important element of ability to ask a relevant question.
Hmm.
Ability to ask a relevant question. So, which is one question which could be most relevant for somebody who wants to leverage psychology to become a leader? That question would be, Prashant, is my body my next brain? And I'm going to build it up on this. This is a very beautiful question because so many times we don't even realize that our gut is where our second brain is. And that gut could be your biology, that gut could be your instinct, it could be your intuition. So, all over together, if you look at it, there's such a big biological component to it. How the two cannot be related, I mean, I'm still thinking about it. Secondly, I was talking about communication. So look at this. Linguistic is one of the essence of human connect. How and did you know, by the way, that we talk to ourselves also? It's not
Hmm.
mad if you talk to yourself. We do it all the time in a day, and
Yes.
these are all auto suggestions. So anyway, between 400 to 800 times we talk to ourselves. And in that talk, what are we telling ourselves? Is it
Hmm.
possible? Is it achievable? Or no, I don't deserve it. So whatever you're telling yourself actually is your reality. That may or may not be the reality outside. So that's the
Hmm.
second part of it. So you are talking to yourself, you're talking to the world. And when you are talking to them, are you even consciously aware of
Hmm.
how you're talking is impacting the other person? What kind of decisions you take or you don't take because of the talking that you do to yourself? So that's the second area, where you look into. And luckily, psychology has been extremely generous to give us tools, strategies, and methods to revitalize the whole idea of thinking right and communicating right.